Well, hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. As you may know, we recently had the North Node and South Node of the Moon shift from Libra Aries to now it is in Pisces and Virgo. So I thought it would be a nice time since it has already been about 2 weeks. So everyone should have started to more or less feel the energy shift. I want to look at basically what will be changing for you during this cycle, what you can expect. These changes don't have to be necessarily like physical changes in the sense of something manifesting itself in your physical reality. It can also speak about internal changes in your emotions, in your thoughts, in the way you look at the world. So, as you can see, there are per standard 3 piles to choose from. Pile 1 would be the Buffalo, pile 2 the Bear card, and pile 3 the Unicorn card. So choose the one that feels like it's your pile for today, and let's explore what is going to happen for you. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Buffalo card in combination with the Drama-Free card, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into it. I'm also gonna read for you guys the whole message that the Buffalo card has, because it is a lovely booklet with lovely written messages. But the overall vibe of your reading, and I would definitely encourage you to, if you are into astrology, to pull up your birth chart and to see where the Virgo-Pisces axis of the North Node and South Node is hitting you, because there might be some kind of significant Virgo placement that's triggered for you. And if that is the case, Virgo placements will during this time, one of the lessons that they will learn is letting go of control. And if you have like a specific planet, you can explore in exactly which area of your life or of your psyche this might affect you, whether it's going to be like relationship, communication, the way you present yourself to the world, doesn't matter. But yes, regarding the tarot cards that came up for you, generally, the overall energy is the energy of coming down somehow, of not being so high strung, not trying to control things so heavily, and developing a sense of security in maybe some kind of outside force, maybe yourself, just that things are going to work out, or even if they don't, that you're gonna figure it out somehow, and that it's basically not that dramatic. You will be entering a period of being drama free. You will take off the mask of like fear, of illusion, of the fear-based brain, and you will just that, relax basically. So let's get into the message of the Buffalo. So the Buffalo card is grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise towards heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. And when the buffalo is in balance, the keywords, what you would experience basically, is trusting and pure presence. When out of balance, it is restless and lacks gratitude. And what you can do to bring it into balance is prayer, or something, I don't know what this is, bhakti, like Bhakti. Yeah, if you know what that is, you can try practicing it. Good. And regarding the tarot cards, when we look into them, they have a similar story. So there might have been, you might be presently going through this energy, or it might be something from the past that you're currently working on. But basically there might have been a time where you have felt that you're somehow walking on eggshells, whether it was surrounding a specific person or group of people. You know, sometimes we meet people who are super explosive and you just feel fear around those people, around showing yourself, around expressing ideas, thoughts, emotions, or feelings of any kind. Oh god, this reminds me of the lyrics of one. Yeah, either way. Lyrical side note. And you might have also felt the need to somehow protect yourself, and again, your thoughts, feelings, ideas, blah blah, from those people from getting attacked. But it seems that your guard is kind of coming down at this point. It feels like you will, there might be in this process some kind of imbalance, a little bit, some kind of disharmony, because as signifying potentially a relationship card, the 10 of Cups shows the potential of such mishap, but it's not something you can't handle. It's just basically ruffling a couple of feathers and then continuing forward smoothly. But yeah, it seems that you will be stepping out of that energy of trying to be super conformist, maybe would be a word, super in line with what is expected in order to achieve certain result. I feel like you just take a deep breath and relax into what type of energy you want to put out. A part of this relaxation might also come to you through reconnecting with something from the past, whether it's going to be, let's say, a specific friend group, or maybe some kind of hobby that you enjoyed in the past. There is this sense that you will find bliss in some kind of memorabilia, and this will further help you to chill out a little bit and get out of your head. And with the Seven of Swords coming up, I would say that this is again like a reinstatement of the same message, basically, that you have up to this point been in some kind of energy of pretension or pretending towards yourself and towards other people. There was some kind of mask here that you now will start to feel is not necessary for you, and you will start to get rid of it. Again, there might be, I'm not saying that this is something that's going to happen overnight, but it is very possible that at least the internal shift that you feel and how you perceive the situation would happen overnight. And I mean, we have been in the energy of the South and North Node changing for about 2 weeks now, which of course it is short time, but still it is a period of time during which you might have already felt some kind of shift. And if not, this would definitely be the direction that things will take. And the last two cards that came for you, or that came up for you, the Queen of Cups and the King of Pentacles, just again reinstate that energy and a mind shift change, that you'll somehow feel more connected, let's say more grounded, but somehow, I don't know how to word it, like both from the sense of being emotionally grounded and being in touch with your emotions. Maybe this will be a point in time when you finally truly understand what's happening for you emotionally on the inside. I wouldn't be surprised if you have some kind of revelation, maybe about something which has for a really long time been present in your mind as a thought, but maybe now will be the time when that thought actually transforms into a feeling, where you truly grasp some kind of truth and feel it internally, because sometimes with change, we start by being mentally aware of a truth, like, yeah, this is truthful, I should do this, that type of energy. And then sometime later on, we truly feel it also in the inside, that this is indeed the truth and this is indeed the road I should take. You might have such a switch at this time. And typically when this switch happens is when we see the fastest and most significant results in our outside reality as well. Because it's like, I don't know if it's the power of manifestation or the power of your mind or just like karma and lesson learned. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But there is something to be said that once you make it past that threshold of finally truly feeling something in your essence, then the change that you might not have been able to make for a month or a year or 10 years finally happens, just like that, like a snap of the fingers, just because you got to that point. And yeah, again, what I was getting at initially before I went on that tangent, with the king and the queen, both energies are really grounded and secure. I feel like this shift for you, will bring you a new sort of mastery over yourself. And the thing is that when we achieve that mastery, or I guess not achieve it, because we all have our ebbs and flows, but when we at least once truly tap into that energy, then we become much more resilient to whatever life might throw at us as like petty events in the day-to-day. So pile one, if you take one thing from this reading, then take the message that you will enter some kind of calm period. That is not to say that it will be boring or things will not happen in your life, but you will find some new sense of peace in your life that maybe you haven't had necessarily up till this point. And yeah, this is more or less what I see in your cards. So let me know if you have already seen such a shift. And if not, I hope it happens faster and sooner. Hello Pile 2, if you chose the Bear card in combination with the Dopamine card, Dopago card, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into your cards and let's start off with the message of the bear. I'll read it to you from the booklet because I really love the messages and how they are written. So, the bear signifies waking from spiritual slumber and beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move towards the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformations begin. When in balance, it signifies inner strength and the yearning to grow. When out of balance, it shows itself as withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness. And what you can do in order to bring the bear energy into balance is to move and exercise. And I think this is also fitting for your reading because the energy that came opposing to the bear from the oracle cards is a card that looks extremely fast going and energetic, the Dopago card. I don't know what exactly this, whether this is supposed to be some kind of pun that I can't understand, but when I took a look at the card, it just gave me this energy similar to the tarot, like the Knight energy of charging right ahead and sprinting for something and being full of life. So this new cycle for you will, in its base, have to do with you letting go of that slumber state and you moving and discovering new energy. And the first three cards that came up for you on this side very much represent that bear side of the energy. So you might have been feeling, on the one hand, a potential, let's say, mental blockage, in the sense of you might have felt some kind of confusion surrounding something. With the Queen of Swords coming up reversed, it often signifies that our mind is not being our best companion at this point. The Queen normally has this ability to take a look at things from above, from a bird's eye view, so to say. But when she is reversed, there is something bothering her. Whether it is a lack of information, whether it's too much information which is boggling your mind, because we can only handle so much before our heads explode. Whether it's that, or whether it's our emotional state which is playing tricks on us, maybe even making us act a little bit out of character, be a little bit imbalanced, even maybe be a little bit bitchy. There is some sense here that you are somehow mentally confused. Let's say it that way. And I hope it doesn't sound all too bad. Now, in combination with the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, I feel like another aspect of this to you might be that you have been, on the one hand, enjoying some kind of past fruit of your labor, but also swimming in the ocean of new ideas and exploring other options you can take from this point forward. Now, of course, there are different ways to interpret this, but it could be, on the one hand, let's say that you achieved some kind of milestone in the past. Again, you were in the process of enjoying that achievement up to a certain point where maybe you started to get bored or to feel stuck. Of course, like, no matter what we achieve in our life, it is always for some time. Like, we always need something new to do. Either way, it's kind of like if you stop moving, you kind of die. So, of course, while it is important to take the time to recharge, to enjoy yourself, to touch grass, basically, there comes then the next point of time where you need to start moving in some kind of new direction in order to not fall asleep. And I feel like you started exploring what this potential direction could be. Again, this could be also the point where this confusion mentally is coming. Maybe you have too many floaty ideas, because the Page of Cups is sort of a floaty guy. It is even pictured here in this card. I don't know if you see it, but it's like a flying pig. So kind of like, yeah, when pigs fly. He is not necessarily a grounded man. Like, he might have amazing ideas, but no idea is worth two shits if you can't bring it into some kind of fruition. So it could be, let's say, this can be the thing that has led you to this sort of mental and maybe physical stagnation. But the energy that you will now somehow be moving in will flow through very much the opposite side of this coin, and this is fiery action. And it also will be, let's say, a specific kind of fiery action, because you received both the 9 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the Justice card. So there might be a situation here where, on the one hand, yes, you will find this energy within yourself to start moving with something new, with, let's say, this lofty idea that our lovely page is thinking about. You will take that idea, you will start moving with it. But in doing that, it's very important for you guys to pay attention to the actions you take. It's kind of like the old, it's not necessarily what you are trying to say, but how you say it. It's something similar with your actions. You might have good intentions, but if you do them in a bad way, you are not going to have a good time, and you might also not receive the best result. There is the message here that, on the one hand, I feel like you are really, or you will be really determined. If you still haven't made it into that energy, you will be very determined to do this, I can speak again, to do this thing and to bring it to its end point. But you might be a little bit brash in doing that. And if this is the course that you take, you will face some kind of opposition and conflict. So, and as part of this, of course, some kind of negative, let's say, karma in the sense of not something from our past life that's haunting us, but just as the logical result of our actions. You know, if you are an asshole to somebody, then this person is not going to like you, and they're not going to help you tomorrow when you need their help. That type of karma, like simplistic karma. So what I'm getting at, in you starting to pursue this new goal or revelation or energy, or in whichever way it exactly manifests for you, you will be really resilient. You will be extremely motivated to do it. Our Nine of Wands lady is a warrior. She's not giving up. She can stand her ground no matter if someone is being rude to her, trying to, like, what was the word? Put her down a peg, something like that. You have the strength to withstand that, and you will remain motivated despite it. It can be even the case of the more opposition you face, the more motivated you become, kind of like out of spite. But with the reversed Five of Wands, it is very important to remember that you need to still find some kind of ground of collaboration with other people. Most situations in our life bring us to the point where we need the help of someone else. And again, it is better if you still haven't burned those bridges. So, in standing your ground, make sure that you are doing it in a fair way. Again, we also have the Justice card, and the Justice card is similar. It's kind of like, what goes up must come down. What you put into it, what you pour into it is gonna come back to you. So don't over push this aggressive energy to the point of, let's say, not following rules or having conflicts that are pointless and will not bring you anywhere. This card can be taken as healthy, like, what's it called? Concurrence? Healthy competition. Stay in that energy. Stay in the energy of healthy competition, of sportsmanship. No one likes when they are watching their favorite sports celebrity act like a fool on the, I don't know, in the match. And yeah, pile 2, I would say this is pretty much it. Might be a little bit short and sweet, but this is what it is. So let me know if you have already started to feel this kind of energy shift. And if not, then just heed the warning of my words of not being too aggressive, okay? And yeah, I wish you all the luck with this. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the unicorn card in conjunction with the stop complaining card, and this is your part of the reading, let's get into it. Your pile is really interesting in the sense of based on how the energies felt. I don't want to diminish anyone's experience, of course, because each of us has different lessons to learn. But, like simplistically said, it feels like your change during this cycle might be somehow, let's say, might be the most all encompassing, because I feel like you will be, or it could be the other way around, where up till this point maybe you are not too interested in the spiritual realm and now you will make this shift. Or if you have been indeed interested in it, maybe now you will have some kind of important transition period through this. Let me, for starters, read to you what the unicorn signifies. I haven't pulled this card up till now. So here it goes. The message of the unicorn is reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder whether our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn and you have begun your quest for the answers. And the unicorn is connected to the sixth chakra. So it's no surprise the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides at the third eye, the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center can also be referred to as the command center. The ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, intuition, and deepest wisdom. Some say our two eyes see the past and present, while this third eye peers into the future. And this is the unicorn card for you. Good, let's get into your cards, more specifically the tarot. Also, regarding the stop complaining card, the way I'm interpreting it, and you might see a different manifestation from it in your life, but I feel like you are now transitioning from not taking the day-to-day dramas all that seriously. Something similar potentially to pile 1, in the sense of that maybe you are just starting to look at the bigger picture, and or even if you are not still at the point of understanding that bigger picture, at the very least you might be starting to feel annoyed with let's say what people are occupying you day to day, or even of your own thoughts that are circling back with some kind of vain dramas of the everyday sort. Good, let me start to talk about your tarot, and hopefully it's not too rambly. It is interesting. There is this, and there are a couple of energies in your cards, and this makes sense especially if you will somehow be going more so on a spiritual journey starting now. Good, let's take it one by one. Starting off with the Page of Cups that came up in the reversed position on the first card for you. This card is very interesting because one of the things that it can signify is that you are missing some kind of sign. That you are missing some kind of information. Let's say if you're not the type of person who likes to hear of signs and such bullshit, because sometimes it annoys me as well. But it's interesting because signs can have a very tangible day-to-day manifestation, let's say. This is something that I have started to recently notice. I feel like I saw myself partially in pile 1, to the sense of that I feel like I don't know whether it has to do also with the North Node or not, but I started to detach recently from, I don't know if it's emotions, from the mind or from what, but I started to observe things. And it's interesting when you start observing things without necessarily waiting for some kind of thing to present itself so you can use it as a sign that something is going to happen or something, that type of thing. You know, sometimes we look for signs just because we want to see like confirmation for something, because we are worried and anxious that it's not going to work, let's say. I see this very often for like relationships. It's like the old game with the flower, he loves me not. And if the last flower petal says he loves me, then I feel good for 5 seconds and then I want to check again. There is this type of energy of signs where you are anxious and you are looking for something. And there is then the second aspect to it, let's say the deeper, what's lying underneath this layer, I would say, that when you detach from looking for those signs, you start to more objectively see patterns. Yes, maybe let's call it patterns. So I feel like now you are, or maybe you are starting to shift this already, but there has been a point of this where I feel like you have missed these, what word did I say 10 seconds ago? Seriously. Patterns. That was the word I said 5 seconds ago. So you might have been in this energy where you were looking for these patterns, but you weren't really seeing them, because you were still on the wavelength of some kind of anxiety boggling that intuitive part of your mind, let's say. And why this anxiety stemmed, a part of it might have had to do something in combination with the World card. It could have something to do with you having wanted to take a shorter cut out of something, because the World card speaks about us wanting to achieve some kind of completion, ending some kind of process, just basically being at the end of the fairy tale and everything is amazing. But this is not necessarily how life works. At the very least, once we close one chapter, then we have to open another one. Or in the other case, like we might close the chapter but still want to write something in it and not be happy with how it turned out. So whether this was the factor that led to this confusion within you and not recognizing signs and being stressed, I don't know, it is a possibility. But the idea is that there has been some kind of lack of clear focus, let's say. And definitely always, like always, this is not even a you thing. This always has at least partially to do with our feelings and our security, and partially to do with our mind, because they are interconnected. And this is the other part here with the Two Swords card that came up for you. The Two of Swords and the reversed Ace of Swords. The reverse Ace of Swords again brings this feeling of some kind of over-analysis as well, but just the general sense of somehow feeling blocked, feeling like you are on the verge of truly understanding something but not completely making it there. Like you are trying to find the glimpse of truth, you are trying to find where this is going, but there is just something, the staircase is just taking you down into a loop. You are not walking out of it with the truth, you are just getting more and more confused. And in combination though with the Two of Swords, there is most likely here also the aspect of you, let's say, hiding information from yourself. What I mean is that, of course, every new revelation that comes to us regarding the world, regarding ourselves, it is a stressful time to be in. No one likes to change truly, it's just part of our nature. No one likes to truly change, and no one likes to change their beliefs about the world. It is uncomfortable. So even if you are generally as a person curious to those types of things, even if you are open to exploring, once your mind is set on understanding something, it is a stress to it to have to change it. So when I say that you are hiding information from yourself, like, I'm not saying that you are insane, and as the Christians say, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Not that type of thing, but just as our human psyche tries to protect us, no matter what our conscious mind wants. So there is a feeling here that you are confused, that you don't know which road to take, so to say. Now the Two of Swords typically represents some kind of choice, especially between two things, and both of the two things feeling sucky. But it doesn't have to mean that you have a particular choice to make in this situation. It's just the idea that your thoughts are going in different directions, you are being pulled in different directions, and none of those is necessarily satisfying you. So it's just a bit of a standstill, a bit of a confusing period, and you are trying to protect yourself by closing your eyes to it. Maybe it will go away. Of course, this is not how it goes. It never goes away truly until you move past it and you close the chapter to open another one. And the third aspect of this situation, with the reversed Tower card and the oh, what's it called? Let me check what the name was in English. The Chariot. Yes, exactly. With the Chariot and the Tower, on the one hand, there is the fear of the change, because the Tower showing up in the reversed, I mean, again, we spoke about this. No matter in which direction change appears, it is always scary to us. But with the reversed energy, there is this particular hesitation to throw yourself into something. It kind of feels like more so that it is being brought on by the outside. Like, you want a kind of change, but also you're kind of afraid. So it feels like, I don't know, destined. It doesn't feel like something you are doing on your own. And this is scary because you don't know where it will lead you. But at the same time, you have this curiosity with the Chariot that's bringing you forward, and you feel this drive within you to continue pushing in this direction, even if it is scary. And with the Chariot, because this is an active card, it is a card of us taking control of the things. What might help you to move out of this energy or move through this energy more effectively will be to try to get those horses under your control, to not let things happen to you, but to try to exert some kind of dedication to the cause. And here for you, it can be just trying to grasp both of your sides, let's say the dark and the light side, or in other terms, like the things that you are afraid to take a look at and that you are trying to somehow close your eyes to, as well as the things that you know well and that you more or less know how to handle. But this whole thing, I hope that it was understandable up to this point. But either way, this whole thing is going to be a process. This is not a straightforward thing to go through, and it will involve both your mind, emotions, and actions. And it will be interesting. Pile 3, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. This just feels like a profound shift. It doesn't, I mean, you might be able to pinpoint an event in your life with this world card that particularly triggered this. Again, if I were to, let's say, refer to this situation based on my life, most of the times the things that have put me in a similar state had to do, for instance, with relationships. But when some time passes, some years especially, you know, hindsight is 2020 more or less, although our memory, of course, gets creatively loosened with time. But when you look back, although there might have been a particular trigger event for some changes, something that kind of pushed you over the edge, it's never one particular thing. You just kind of come to the realization that generally the way you operated up to this point was not the best, and you found this new way. You got curious, something pushed you finally the last step to fall, and then you learned to fly again. You found some kind of new power that you have and some kind of new way of doing things. So yeah, let's just leave it at that. Either way, this feels like something which will be quite profound. And again, I hope that my ramblings are helpful and made sense. Let me know if you have started to experience this up till this point. And if not, I mean, it has been 2 weeks of the North Node, so there is plenty of time. And even after this North Node, there will be plenty of other astrological shifts that can have an impact on you. So yeah, ramblings over. I wish you all the best with this energy.